Two things fill the mind with ever-increasing wonder and awe. And the more often and the more intensely the mind of thought is drawn to them, the starry heavens above, me and the moral law within me. Immanuel Kant. This quote highlights Immanuel Kant's concern for the role of passive observers in perpetuating injustice and evil in the world. It emphasizes the importance of taking action and standing up for what is right, rather than simply watching events unfold. The quote encourages people to be active participants in shaping the world, rather than passive observers. Genius is the ability to independently arrive and understand concepts that would normally have to be taught by another person. We are not rich by what we possess, but by what we can do without. He who is cruel to animals becomes hard also in dealings with men. We can judge the heart of a man by his treatment of animals. Look closely. The beauty may be small. I had to deny knowledge in order to make room for faith. One who makes himself a worm cannot complain afterwards if people step on him. Dare to think. Rules for happiness. Something to do. Someone to love. Something to hope for. For peace reign on earth, humans must evolve into new beings who have learned to see the whole first. Out of the crooked timber of humanity, no straight thing was ever made. The busier we are, the more acutely we feel that we live, the more conscious we are of life. The death of dogma is the birth of morality. But only he who, himself enlightened, is not afraid of shadows. Space and time, within which the mind is constrained to construct its experience of reality. Thoughts without content are empty. Intuitions without concepts are blind. Have patience a while. Slanders are not long-lived. Truth is the child of time. Ere long, she shall appear to vindicate thee. Dare to know. Have the courage to use your own intelligence. The reading of all good books is like a conversation with the finest minds of past centuries. We are enriched not by what we possess, but by what we can do without. Man must be disciplined, for he is by nature raw and wild. If the truth shall kill them, let them die. Treat people as an end, and never as a means to an end. Act only according to that maxim whereby you can at the same time will that it should become a universal law. How then is perfection to be sought, wherein lies our hope, in education and in nothing else? In all judgments by which we describe anything as beautiful, we allow no one to be of another opinion. Enlightenment is a man's emergence from his self-incurred immaturity. Have the courage to use your own reason. That is the motto of enlightenment. Marriage is the union of two people of different sexes, with a view to the mutual possession of each other's sexual attributes, for the duration of their lives. An action, to have moral worth, must be done from duty. Nothing is divine, but what is agreeable to reason. Experience without theory is blind, but theory without experience is mere intellectual play. Only the descent into hell of self-knowledge can pave the way to godliness. But although all our knowledge begins with experience, it does not follow that it arises from experience. All false art, all vain wisdom, lasts in time but finally destroys itself, and its highest culture is also the epoch of its decay. Act only according to that maxim by which you can at the same time will that it should become a universal law. All human cognition begins with intuitions, proceeds from thence to conceptions, and ends with ideas. Simply to acquiesce in skepticism can never suffice to overcome the relentlessness of reason. Dignity is a value that creates irreplaceability. Beauty presents an intermediate concept of understanding, the sublime and intermediate concept of reason. It is beyond a doubt that all our knowledge begins with experience. Human beings are never to be treated as means, but always as ends. In every department of physical science, there is only so much science, properly so called, as there is mathematics. By a lie a man throws away, and as it were annihilates his dignity as a man. From the crooked timber of humanity, a straight board cannot be hewn. Innocence is a splendid thing, only it has the misfortune not to keep very well and to be easily misled. Settle, for sure and universally, what conduct will promote the happiness of a rational being. What might be said of things in themselves, separated from all relationships to our senses, remains for us absolutely unknown. Better the whole people perish than that injustice be done. Give me matter, and I will build a world out of it. Laughter is an effect resulting from the sudden transformation of a heightened expectation into nothing. Woman wants control, man self-control. From such crooked wood as that which man is made of, nothing straight can be fashioned. Never wish to see a just cause defended with unjust means. Tout intuition sans concept, and about it pass. The hand is visible part of the brain. Out of the crooked timber of humanity, no straight thing was ever made. He who would know the world must first manufacture it. Have the courage to use your own understanding. That is the motto of enlightenment. We can judge the heart of a man by his treatment of animals. The great mass of people are worthy of our respect. Innocence is indeed a glorious thing. Only, on the other hand, it is very sad that it cannot well maintain itself, and is easily seduced. Act as if the maxim of your action were to become, by your will, a general law of nature. Experience may teach us what is, but never that it cannot be otherwise. Freedom is the opposite of necessity. From the crooked timber of humanity, never was a straight thing made. Give me matter, and I will construct a world out of it. Art is purposiveness without purpose. Man desires conquered, but nature know better what is good for his species. She desires discord. We can never, even by the strictest examination, get completely behind the secret springs of action. The greatest human quest is to know what one must do in order to become a human being. Out of the crooked timber of humanity, no straight thing was ever made. If justice perishes, then it is no longer worthwhile for men to live upon the earth. Thinking and conversation with oneself. But though all our knowledge begins with experience, it by no means follows that all arises out of experience. Human reason goes forth inexorably to such questions as cannot be answered by any experiential use of reason or principles based on it. The cultivation of reason leads humanity sooner to misery than happiness. By a lie a man throws away, and as it were, annihilates his dignity as a man. What can I know? What ought I do? What can I hope? It is certainly a bad sign of common sense to appeal to it as a witness. All so-called moral interests consist simply in respect for the law. A great part, perhaps the greatest part, of the business of our reason consists in the annihilation of the concepts which we already possess of objects. You must, therefore you can. A free will and a will subject to moral laws are one and the same thing. The enjoyment of power inevitably corrupts the judgment of reason and perverts its liberty. The possession of power inevitably spoils the free use of reason. The spirit of trade cannot coexist with war, and sooner or later this spirit dominates every people. It is beyond doubt that all knowledge begins with experience. Morality is not the doctrine of how we make ourselves happy, but how we make ourselves worthy of happiness. Heaven has given human beings three things to balance the odds of life: hope, sleep, and laughter. I have, therefore, found it necessary to deny knowledge in order to make room for faith. Thank you for watching this video showcasing the brilliance and wisdom of Immanuel Kant. Immanuel Kant's insights and quotes continue to inspire and challenge us, reminding us of the power of imagination, their importance of adaptability, and the role of perception in shaping reality. Immanuel Kant.